Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name's Nadia, but you can call me Nod. And today we're thinking critically, or questioning rather, about the revitalization of live action adaptation. Hey, don't come for me. I say adaptation instead of adaptation throughout the whole video. I didn't know this until after I filmed and edited most of the video, so anyways, enjoy! Of shoujo anime, also known as a specific subgenre of J-dramas or Japanese dramas. Think of classics such as Nana, We Were There, also known as Bokura ga Ita, Lovely Complex, all the way up to some modern day live action adaptations of popular media and anime and manga, such as Kimi ni Toroke or From Me to You and Your Lie in April. Is this trend driven by cinematic technology as far as the revitalization and honestly overall improvement of these dramas? Does some of it attribute to the talent in the new era of live adaptation dramas? Or is it something else entirely that maybe I'm missing here? Either way, I need your help, and I would love your input and feedback about some of your favorite live action adaptations of shoujo anime drama, so on and so forth. I'm going to be using both terms interchangeably. I hope it's not too confusing. And in case you're new here, I make commentary videos about my favorite geeky media such as anime, film, and video games, and vlogs about my life and my career and my art. One of my biggest goals in 2025 is to stay consistent with YouTube and monetize. So if you like what you watched today and you feel engaged, please consider leaving a like on this video and even subscribing and watching other great videos that I have, such as my Dan Dan think piece and my Samurai Champloo commentary video. In today's video, I'll be basically cross-referencing 3 pieces of media that I will then go deeper into in a future full commentary deep dive video. I chose to look at Nana, the 2005 live action adaptation. I think it's actually split between 2 movies. The We Were There live action adaptation movie, also known as Bokura ga Ita in 2012, and finally the most recent From Me to You, Kimi ni Toroke from the 2023 live action adaptation of the series. I think it's only split between like a couple episodes, but it was released through Netflix. The reason I chose these 3 key pieces of media because with the different dates that each pieces of media were released, I feel like it's a good kind of pool of research to see how each one of them differs from a cinematic perspective, emotional tone, and cultural impact. And honestly, I just find them to be very fascinating case studies for the evolution of live action shoujo anime adaptations. Oh my gosh, try saying that 10 times fast. Oh my goodness. Not to mention, each of these pieces of media are at least 5 years apart as far as release date. So honestly, it kind of feels like comparing 3 different generations of similar shoujo live action adaptation media, movies, series, if you will. Okay, I didn't write this in my notes, but I feel like it'd be helpful to give a little bit more context behind the plots of these 3 pieces of media. Starting with Nana, honestly it's kind of a cult favorite within the shoujo anime community, but in case you didn't know, it's basically a coming of age story between 2 20-year-old girls, both named Nana, 2 very different aesthetics, and their life as it evolves after they move in together in an apartment in Tokyo, Japan, based in the early 2000s. The second piece of media, We Were There, also known as Bokura ga Ita, follows the story of 2 main protagonists, also the main girl being called Nana, and kind of another girl being called Nana, and then the love interest, Yano Motoharu, and basically follows the romance love story between these 2 during their time in high school and beyond, and all the tragedy that follows them as well. So there's a very heavy kind of tragic theme following their story as well. And finally, probably the most innocent and most digestible story for the common public or common audience is the From Me to You or Kimi ni Toroke Shojo Anime Adaptation. This is actually their second adaptation that they made. There was one made, I believe, in 2010, 2012 or something like that. And it follows the story of Sadako, who is basically a very introverted high school freshman who meets someone that helps her come out of her shell and ultimately falls in love throughout the story. So, very wholesome. But there's some basic context behind each piece of media. And for like my final deep dive, I really want to focus on how modern technology has either helped or hurt these pieces of media and their level of success. Asking questions like how does the visual storytelling evolve over the years, and how our newer adaptations are maybe more polished but maybe a little less memorable in my opinion. One example of this that I can give personally is that I feel like the 2006 adaptation of Nana is so much more impactful versus like newer adaptations such as Kimi ni Toroke. Again, I understand these are two completely different stories and different aesthetics even, but I just feel like the new Kimi ni Toroke adaptation is just so forgettable, even though it's such a clean aesthetic and it's very like reminiscent of modern day K-dramas, to be honest. Next, I want to touch on the idea of nostalgia, and is this nostalgia of us growing up with these media when we were younger? For example, I was like in my late middle school years, early high school years when I first read Nana and Bokura ga Ita in a manga first. And then finally watching the live action adaptations, honestly, not until my 20s. It was kind of harder to come by growing up without like Netflix. Not me aging myself right now. But it's a lot easier now with Netflix being able to watch these media even though they've come out years ago, and it's just easier to have more of an international audience now versus back then. So I think nostalgia for my generation might hit different a little bit more than someone who's younger than me. Another lens I want to look at for these three media is through the J-drama or Japanese drama versus K-drama take. I feel like unanimously people prefer K-dramas, and I think K-dramas are in fact a lot more digestible for an international and general audience. I do think K-pop has had a huge influence in that versus J-pop, but I personally prefer the Japanese drama stories. And I don't know if it's just because I'm more biased towards liking anime and media of that realm, but I also really love K-dramas and I loved K-pop growing up too. So I'm curious what your thoughts are about that, wondering like why is K-drama so much more successful versus Japanese drama? Is this more of a subjective thing, or are there objective elements of K-dramas that just seem to succeed more than our favorite Japanese drama or live action anime adaptations? And finally, the last lens I want to look at for these three pieces of media is whether or not they stay true to the source material, i.e. the manga, from the manga to the anime to the live action adaptations, and what all changed between each piece of media, or is it all consistent all throughout? I will say one discrepancy in this for me is that I'm not a manhwa reader, which I believe that's like the Korean version of manga. I think they also consider them like webtoons as well, because you can access them online just like you can access manga online, but it hits different, you know what I mean? So, and I'm not sure how many manhwa or webtoon stories get adapted into live action K-dramas. So I'm curious about your thoughts about that, and if you feel like J-dramas do a better or terrible job of staying true to their source material. Okay, a little side note here. According to Shoujo Crave, the Nana and Nana 2 live action movies are getting English Blu-ray release by Discotek Media for the first time in HD this year in 2025. I'm freaking stoked for that. I hope you're stoked for that. That'll be amazing. Alright, so now that we have the context, now that you know what lenses I'm looking through to do my final deep dive video, I leave you with these 4 questions, and I'd love to hear your thoughts below. First and foremost, just revisiting the context, why do you think certain aesthetics, such as the Nana 2005 grittiness, works to its advantage in 2024 to what I personally consider a more forgettable adaptation, such as the 2023 adaptation of Kimi ni Todoke, From Me to You? Also, RIP Haruma. That like shook me to my core. That was like my teenage heartthrob growing up. That's so freaking sad, y'all. Remember, actors, actresses, they're humans too. They have mental health that they need to take care of too. Question number 2. How do you think this drama specifically paved the way for its stars that others didn't? What I mean by that is, I feel like the main protagonist, like who played Nana, I'm forgetting her name right now, in Bokura ga Ita, she has had a ridiculously successful career since the release of this live action adaptation. And also her male counterpart, I think his name is Toma or something like that. They both have had very successful acting careers in Japan and Japanese media, specifically in the drama space. And I think it's freaking cool, but I can't say the same for the people who played actors and actresses in shows such as Nana or Kimi ni Todoke, except for maybe one, but let me know what you think about that. Number 3, when does nostalgia overshadow objective reception of these dramas? How can viewers approach them in a more balanced perspective? Is that even possible to begin with? Number 4, what makes J-dramas so much less globally successful compared to its K-drama counterpart, even across different generations of adaptions? I'm really interested in your answer for this one because I still believe Japanese dramas are super underrated. Although there is also a part of me that wonders, are live action adaptations of shoujo anime even necessary? Because like Nana already has such a cult following as a manga and anime itself, so but maybe it wouldn't have a cult following without the live action adaptations. I don't know. Just saying. I'm just yapping here. Let me know what you think. And again, just to remind you guys, while this video serves as more of a think piece and a prerequisite for future research down the line, I do consider it a conversation starter, and I'd love for you to join the discussion and leave a comment below. What are your thoughts? And just remember, this is a platform I'd love for people to think critically, passionately, and maybe even a little academically about the favorite geeky media we love in the East. And that said, I'll only hold space with people who have respectful comments to leave below. So again, please share your thoughts, your insights, so I can read them and bring them into the final research video. And finally, thank you so much for watching today. This is actually the last YouTube video that I'm going to be making in this apartment space. I'll show you a clip at the end here, but this is a very small apartment, and I'm so excited because the new place, I'll have a dedicated content creation, art, and freelancing room, and I'm so excited, you guys. It's gonna really motivate me to keep creating content for the rest of the year and hopefully bringing you guys good content, and I improve with each video that I release. You're about to be blown away. I literally live in a hallway. Like, that's the whole apartment. That up there, that's the bedroom. The bedroom, it's literally like a box. I'm not kidding. It's a small apartment. I'm excited to get out of here, but it's fine. It served its purpose, and I'm outgrowing it. That said, I need to stop talking now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe if you enjoy these kind of conversations, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! If you watched until the end of the video, comment, "Bye, Gigi," to the little girl. Oh, so sleepy. Good night.